Now I've just received an email, and what each of these photographs represents for me is more money. And so what I want to do in this video is share with you the best advice that I've ever received regarding my architectural photography career, so that together we can start earning some more money. The other day I received a comment on one of the videos that I've done by a guy who's had an architectural photography business for about 9 years, and he's just about ready to throw in the towel. He's feeling really distressed because he's just not earning enough money because he doesn't have a big enough client base to support that business. So yes, absolutely, one route is to grow your client base, and that is going to equate to more financial income for you. However, there is another alternative way to earn more money, and it's from getting more from the jobs that you already shoot. And I'm going to explain to you how we do that. So the first indication that I got that I was doing things wrong came several years ago when I picked up one of these kind of magazines. This is my work on the front, House of the Year. Lovely, great to have your work in there. However, when I was flicking through the magazine, I noticed an advert by a company, and they were using my photography to promote their product, and they were somebody I'd never dealt with before. There'd been no financial exchange gone on, nothing. So they're making money out of advertising their product, using my work, and I'm not seeing a single cent for it. And that boiled my blood, that bent me all out of shape. And so I thought, what can I actually do about this? And the solution is actually really simple, and it's going to allow you to make a lot more money for every shoot that you do when you do it right. So what you're going to do is license your work to the client that has employed you for your services. So rather than having a set fee for going out and doing the job with a set number of images and here you go, you license your work. There's several benefits to that, but the biggest one is that you can get paid multiple times. As with that email that I just showed you before, all of these photos, I've already been paid for these. I went and did a kitchen shoot for a kitchen designer. She's already paid me to go and photograph the kitchen in the first place. I have a set baseline fee. That is $575 for me. You can set that where you want. I've had that set at that amount for about 7 or 8 years now. It hasn't changed. I haven't needed to shift it. Maybe I should, but that's fine, because what I do is I then license each and every photograph that the client wants to purchase from me for a set amount. Now, it's not really about the amount that you're charging for your photos or for that set base fee. It's more about the principle and how you're actually doing this. So we will work with my figures. That's fine. I don't mind putting it out there, saying what I earn, no problem there. Look, so each of my photos for the client that hires me, I'm charging them $85 plus tax for each photo. So it's about $100. They've got that $575 shoot fee. So if they choose 10 photos, they're looking at like $1,000 plus that $575. So you're already over $1,500 for your 10 photos. That base fee is covering you, heaven forbid, if the client doesn't like your work and they don't buy a single photo, but that has never happened. But I have worked for some people where I've shot a whole load of photos, thought they're really great, and then they only pick a couple. It's pretty heartbreaking, but it's also very rare indeed. But again, because of this approach of licensing your work, you may be able to then on-sell that work to other parties that were involved in the project. When you think about a building project, a beautiful home that you're photographing, there are so many people involved. So with this kitchen designer example, I actually took some photographs when I pulled the drawers out, because I knew that the drawer runner company, they're quite a big company, and they are happy to license work that they can use for their social media. And they've got pretty deep pockets, and they're prepared to pay for good quality imagery showcasing their work. So I shot for the kitchen designer, and in the back of my mind, I'm also thinking about them. I'm also thinking about the benchtop manufacturing company. So they haven't licensed any photos from me yet, haven't been in touch with them yet, but that is another option. I can go to them and I might sell more photos as a result. So I haven't counted how many photos were in that email, but I'm guessing another 10. So we're again at another $1,000 on top of what I've already been paid for that job. So if you're not working with an approach of licensing your work, you want to make another $1,000, you got to go out and shoot another job. That's your time. Well, you know what's involved with that. So if you can make that money from the same job by just taking a different approach to how you're being paid and how the value of those photos is being perceived by your client, you're in a much better place to make more money as an architectural photographer. Now, people have asked me in the past about contracts, and yes, they are a valid part of the process. However, I think what's much more important, and the way that I like to work, is when I'm engaging with a client, is I look them straight in the eye and I explain the way this works. And I say, hey, look, you're paying me a base fee to come out and do the job. That covers my expenses, my camera gear, all of that. But the value is in the photography that I'm delivering to you, and that is for your use. You can do what you want with that, right? I'm not strict with my licensing. I don't say you can only use it for this and that's that price. And if you want to use it for a magazine advertisement, that's more. It's just an across the board flat fee per photo. It's really straightforward. Yes, you could have a staggered system where you charge more for a greater usage of that image. However, I like to keep it really simple for them, for me. They can use the photo for any purpose for themselves, for their own business promotion, and that is what that fee per photo covers. There's a couple of benefits of this, is if I'm shooting a lot of imagery, they're not having to pay for it all. Benefit is they only pay for the photos that they think are the absolute winners, that represents their project to its absolute best. And I pitch the idea to them like this, and they're like, well, that makes sense. So I say, if there's 6 images that you absolutely love and you just want to buy them, that's all you pay me for. If I've done my job well and I create a portfolio of beautiful imagery and there's 20 that you want, then I get paid for the 20 and you get some amazing imagery. But the most important thing for them to understand is that the photos are for their use only, and they're normally really cool with that. So by explaining it that way to your client, it stops that passing on of your photography to third parties, because all they're trying to do is build relationships with the people that they work with, and they're like, hey, I've had this amazing photography done, would you like to use it? And it just garners goodwill in their relationships. But once they know that that's a real no-no, and that is how you're actually earning your money, by people paying you for your photos, they're like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. So for example, you don't pick up a magazine, flick through it and go, hang on, that's my work and no one's paid me for that. So I thoroughly recommend you take on board this approach of actually licensing your work. For sure, build in a base level fee for just going and doing the job if you're concerned that you might not be actually paid, or they may not choose any of the photos. That part of it, I've always had that base level in there. You may choose to do away with that and have a slightly higher fee per photo, entirely up to you. But the general advice I would give you is license your work, find out who the other people were involved with the project, and then you can on-sell that work. More often than not though, I'm not going approaching third parties saying, hey, I've got these photos, you interested? Usually the other parties involved in the project will see the photography somewhere, whether that's online or in a magazine, and will know my name is associated with the photography. They will then either reach out directly to me, or they will often go back to the person who paid to have the job done in the first place and say, hey, can I have some of these photos to use? But now I've educated them, my client, to say, no, I can't give you, or you can't pay me for those photos. I've licensed them. You need to license them for your use if you're interested. Here are the photographer's details. And then I will get an email like I just showed you before with a nice list of photos saying, could we purchase these photos from you? It's a win-win for everyone. So I hope that's been helpful to you guys. I really strongly recommend build that into your pricing structure, and you will reap the financial rewards as an architectural photographer. If you don't feel comfortable asking for higher fees because you feel like the quality of your work isn't quite where it needs to be, then maybe it's your editing that needs some help. And I've put together a video that hopefully you'll enjoy, which is that one there. And I'll take you through this photo here, and we turn it into this in Lightroom, Photoshop, full walkthrough. So hopefully you'll enjoy that, and I'll see you over in that video. Cheers for watching. Leave a thumbs up if this has been useful. Bye bye for now.